Selamat datang di channel Lavalier. Dan pada video kali ini gua akan melanjutkan event Genshin Impact, yaitu mawar dan senapan. Di sini langsung saja gua akan melakukan Derak Senapan Memecah Keheningan sampai questnya selesai. Karena sebentar lagi eventnya akan selesai ya. Ya pasti beda lah ya.
Yes. When I first went to Inazuma, I actually thought the food there tasted a
Lah
little
kok
too
gitu,
bland.
gimana sih?
It took some time for me to get used to it.
Let's get back to the purpose of this trip for a moment.
Nah, tujuan utamanya kan membuat
How
film
preparations for the
sampai
film has gone along,
selesai.
Mr. Xavier?
Well, I've already assembled most of the film crew, a lighting specialist, a prop
Nah,
manager,
jadi
and
semuanya
a costume
sudah
designer.
siap.
I've also bought the copyrights from the novel's author.
Oh, it's called The Two Musketeers, right?
Dua
I read the
masketir.
script you saw on the way here. The story is pretty good.
Originally, I was planning to start filming as soon as Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka arrived in Fontaine.
Lah kok ada
But,
masalah
I'm
lagi,
afraid
gimana
I
sih?
run into a bit of a problem.
Jangan-jangan gara-gara investor yang kemarin.
It has to do with the film's investor, Mr. Morris.
Nah,
He
bener kan?
suddenly informed me this morning that he's encountered some financial trouble and will be unable to release to me the amount of funding agreed upon.
It's said that Fontaine's legal system is well developed. If he has violated the contract, then can't you simply take him to court over the matter?
Nah, gimana tuh?
Well, I'm still more concerned about filming. Even if I were to take him to court, I'm afraid it would take months before the case
Buset,
would be
lama
heard.
bener, berbulan-bulan.
Is there a way we could raise funds ourselves to solve the problem?
I've considered that option too.
Ya,
but
aduh malah cari
unfortunately,
dana,
it's
gimana
difficult to
sih?
gather such a large amount of mora on such short notice. Besides, we have to consider the film festival's submission deadline.
Nah, jadi gimana?
If Ayaka and I
Mencari uang dengan waktu
would
cepat.
that resolve the problem you are currently facing?
What? No.
Lah,
out of the
kok gimana
question.
tuh?
To have you come all this way just to act for free? No, that won't do.
There's no need to worry, Mr. Xavier. My brother and I had actually intended to work for free.
Buset ya, bisa-bisanya tanpa imbalan
Inazuma has
apapun.
only recently reopened its borders and needs to strengthen its relations
Oh,
and cultural
jadi
ties with
seperti
other
itu
nations.
tujuannya.
We didn't have many collaboration projects with Fontaine in the past. So we
Jadi
hope strengthening
kemarin
services could start for the
Moonstead
future.
dengan Liwe.
Indeed.
Sekarang
You
Inazuma
could say
mau
that's the
collab
real
dengan
reason why the
Fontaine.
Oslo Commission agreed to come to Fontaine.
I understand, but having you two act for free just doesn't seem right.
Nah, gimana tuh?
Not at all. While we're officially here to conduct a cultural survey of sorts, we must express
Kunjungan
our sincerity
kerja.
if we want to establish formal cultural ties with your nation. This film will serve as proof of friendly cooperation and cultural exchange between Inazuma and Fontaine. It's my hope that the film can be finished and released as smoothly as possible. If you still don't feel comfortable with this arrangement, I would also be more than happy to be introduced to some other renowned individuals in Fontaine's literary and artistic circles.
Nah, gimana
All
tuh?
right.
Bagus
I'll
lah
do as
ya
you say.
kalau bisa.
Thank you so much. I'll make sure to cobble together enough mora now. Even if
Buset,
I
harus
sell my
gadaikan
house,
rumah,
my
kamera,
car, and
dan
every
semua
single
pusaka
family heirloom.
keluarga.
Come on now, no need to go that far. I'll also help you out as a brand sponsor.
Kami juga bisa bantu.
Me too. Even though I didn't bring much more to spend on this trip, it's still better than nothing.
You are too kind, all of you. I really don't know how to.
Nah, sekarang gimana nih?
Alright, enough about that. Now that we have Xavier's savings, my support, and 2 leads who are willing to act for free, I think we will be able to make this happen. So, instead of Mora, you'll help with filming and production.
Oh, but how can we help with that? We much about making a film.
Nah, gimana tuh? Kita kan nggak
Alright.
tahu
Pull yourself
apa-apa.
together, Xavier. Tell us if there are still any open positions left among the crew.
All right. Let me think. We still need a camera operator, a clapper loader, and someone to
Operator
manage
kamera,
logistics.
pemegang kelapar,
I
dan
originally
urusan
wanted to personally
logistik.
serve as director,
Bisa
but
lah
I
ya.
was busy working as the producer. So the positions of director and director's assistant will also need to be filled.
Paimon knows what the director and the logistics support person do, but what's a clapper loader?
The clapper loader is responsible for using the clapper board to record and organize the information of each shot. When the camera operator begins shooting, the work requires both patience
Buset,
and
harus
careful
sabar dan
attention to detail.
teliti.
A clapper board? Oh, you mean the thing that
Bunyi
you
klak,
clap whenever
klak,
they
klak.
start filming?
Yes, that's right. Are you interested in that job?
For sure.
Nah, gimana tuh,
Always
Pak
wanted to
Imon?
try that.
Alright, then you'll be our clapper loader. I can find someone from the store to help with logistics. What do you think, Xavier?
Well, fine by me. As for our camera operator, I was thinking of letting the traveler take the
Jadi kita sebagai
She's great
kamera
when it comes to using a
operator.
camera. Paimon can't even count how many things we've taken photos of during our journey.
Yes, that's also what I was thinking. I noticed the traveler had an eye for photography and composition when we worked together previously.
I'm sure that's due to the traveler's journey across Devat and all the places they've seen. After so many adventures, using a camera must be second nature by now.
What do you say, traveler? Are you interested in the job?
Boleh, yang penting aku bisa berkontribusi.
Thank you. It really means a lot to me. Come on, friend. Let me give you a big warm hug.
Langsung kerja saja yuk.
So all that's left for us to find is a director.
Buset, ngapain lagi?
Oh, me. I want to be the director's assistant. All we need to do is help the director, right? I can handle that.
All right, then all we need is a director. Oh, all the well-known directors in Fontaine are probably also busy working on their own films.
Buset, pasti sudah sibuk sutradaranya.
Time to help.
Jadi siapa itu?
Farina helped out a theater troupe recently by serving as an artistic consultant. She could be a good director, right? Besides, it's not like she has anything else to do right now.
Buset, sekarang nganggur berat.
Farina? Do you really think Lady Farina would be willing to help us with our humble project?
Isn't that the name of Fontaine's Hydro Archon? My brother has already informed me about what happened here in Fontaine.
Yep, that's her. She helped out a theater troupe not too long ago, and now she's taking up work as a director.
Well,
I saw that musical. Her performance was perfect, and the storyboards were also excellent. Don't let her former identity intimidate you. She's the best candidate we can think of right now. You'll never know until you give her a shot.
Nah, bisa tuh lah ya dicoba terlebih
I'll do anything
dahulu.
for the sake of my film, anything. Then I'll have to ask the traveler and Paimon to show me the way to Lady Farina's residence. I just hope she'll agree to help.
Do you need us to also come along?
No, there's no need to trouble.
Oh,
you with
jadi
this.
nggak
Besides,
perlu
just
repot-repot.
arrived in Fontaine, and I'm sure there are many places you would like to visit. Just leave this task to me. It's part of my duties as the producer.
Very well. Then we'll be waiting to hear the good news.
I'll go with you. By the way, you might want to consider bringing a gift.
Lah kok bawa buah
We'll
tangan?
quickly drop you off at Farina's place. We know Farina pretty well by now, so having some familiar faces there should help your chances. Besides, the whole thing was our idea in the first place.
All right, then I'll start making preparations. As for the gift...
Lalu hadiahnya
For
bagaimana?
someone who was once seen as the Hydro Archon, I wonder what she would like.
I recall that Lady Farina once fancied a clockwork ring, so perhaps I should get another exquisite clockwork contraption for her.
Huh? Can't we just bring some desserts like the fontinalia mousse?
Lah gimana tuh bawa cincin?
But wouldn't that so.
Isn't the Fontinalia festival happening right now? I heard Abel tell us on the Aquabus that Farina introduced the tradition of going door to door and asking for sweets. To do something like that, she must have a real sweet tooth.
I agree with Yoimiya.
Nah, gimana
If the
tuh?
gift is too fancy, it might
Jadi
actually
cukup
make you feel
dikasih
more
kue saja.
Alright then, let's go buy some fontinalia mousse.
But will that really be
Jadi
enough?
sudah
We ask her to
dibeli
do a lot
saja.
of work, you know.
Cukup mudah ya, kita tidak perlu pergi ke tokonya.
You're right. We need to further sweeten the deal.
Huh? You want something even sweeter than fontinalia mousse?
Jadi
Yes,
ada yang lebih
we
manis
need a
lagi.
gift that's sweeter than any dessert in the world.
Lah, apa enggak diabetes?
Your words of praise.
Lah,
Here, this is where Farina lives.
Okay, I'll go knock on the door.
gimana nih? Lah kok?
Seriously, who's knocking before afternoon?
Buset, jam minum teh gini?
Who are you?
Lady Farina, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Xavier, a film director.
Hello. Oh, is that the traveler in Paimon I see behind you? And who's this?
I'm Chiori.
Ah, the one from Chioria Boutique. Hello, hello. So, what are you all doing here? Do you need something?
Ya, karena pastinya ada perlu sesuatu lah ya.
Noon, you know.
Pak Imon.
Huh? Oh, Paimon means the weather is so nice in the afternoon and the sun is so warm. Just like how you make us feel. Sleeping in late is a really smart idea.
No. I was just up late last night reading some novels.
Buset, begadang baca novel ringan.
This is a small gift we've prepared for you, Lady Farina. We hope you like it.
No need to be
Buset,
so
tiba-tiba
formal.
random begitu
I'm just a
saja.
regular person like everyone else now. Oh, is this Fontinalia?
Ya,
mousse?
aduh, kenapa nggak bawa
It's
itu
one of my
saja?
favorites.
That's great! So, actually, there's something we need your help with. Given your renowned passion and understanding of drama, I would like to ask that you serve as the director of our film crew.
Nah, gimana tuh?
But didn't you just say that you're a director?
Yes, but for this particular project, I'm mainly working as a producer. Besides, I'm sure that your understanding of the performing arts far surpasses my own, Lady Farina.
Are the Traveler and Paimon also part of the film crew?
Ya, pastinya lah ya.
We sure are. Paimon's the clapper loader and she's the camera operator.
Camera operator? That can be a pretty technical job, and it directly affects the final quality of the film. Are you really up to it?
Aku ada pengalaman kok.
No, I'm not questioning your abilities. It's just that I've never really seen you use a camera before.
Maybe you can come up with a test for the Traveler and see for yourself. If she can satisfy you
Nah,
with her
gimana
camera
tuh?
skills, then you'd have nothing to worry about and can join the team. What do you say?
You sure are getting better at rolling with the situation, Paimon. Oh, I do wish to see how skilled the Traveler really is with a camera. Alright, how about this? We'll work with what we have. I'll give you some scenarios and see if your work is up to my standards.
Oke, silahkan.
Very good. It's essential for the camera operator to understand the director's vision. I'll make my decision after seeing your work. Are you ready? I have high standards, you know.
Sudah siap.
Okay, grab the camera and I'll give you a scenario.
Istile adalah pemilik Beomot Workshop dan dia selalu membanggakan mesin tempa buatannya karena suhu kerjanya bisa diatur dengan akurat dan menempa yang menggunakannya tidak perlu menghabiskan tenaga sama sekali. Ayo kita buat video promosi untuk bengkel kerja milik Istile ini. Ingat untuk menekannya kemampuan mesin tempatnya ya. Mulai syuting. Jadi kira-kira ini gimana ini? Syutinglah beberapa adegan sesuai dengan persyaratan sutradara dan kompilasikan adegan-adegan menjadi film syuting. Syarat posisi kamera adalah kunci saat merekam. Kamu juga harus memilih posisi kamera yang sesuai lebih dahulu. Saat merekam ada sebagian gambar yang dilengkapi dengan persyaratan narasi. Pilih narasi yang cocok dengan cerita. Coba penuhi semua persyaratan sutradara. Setelah menentukan semua posisi kamera dan narasi, kamu dapat memulai perekaman dan melihat hasilnya. Pilih narasi. Berlokasi di Court of Fontaine, Beomot Workshop adalah bengkel senjata yang mahir menggunakan mesin tempa. Ini udah gua pilih narasinya, posisi kamera. Coba gua lihat dulu ya. Kayaknya ini dulu. Narasi dulu. Yang pertama ini saja. Harus menampilkan pemandangan Beomot Workshop. Dan yang kedua adegan mesin tempa yang sedang beroperasi. Pilih narasinya cuma satu. Pilih ini terus yang ketiga harus menampilkan adegan suasana saat Istile bekerja dengan santai. Kira-kira inilah ya. Kalau ini kan minum. Terus yang keempat adegan senjata produksi Beomot Workshop yang disusun dalam kotak. Ini kali ya. Dan terakhir pemandangan Beomot Workshop. Harusnya inilah ya. Mulai syuting. Jadi bagaimana ini? Gua lihat terlebih dahulu ya. Mesin tempa beroperasi. Dan ini bekerja dengan... Oh kayaknya enggak ada ini. Oh ini ada susunan kotak-kotaknya. Selanjutnya pemandangan Beomot Workshop. Ini kayaknya ada dua yang salah dah. Selanjutnya bagaimana ini? Nah kan boleh juga.
All the shots had a great composition, and I could really feel a connection to the characters and their lines.
Jadi gimana?
Yeah! Does that mean you agree to be our director, Farina?
Did you think I would agree just like that? After our performance of the Little
Nah,
Ocean,
bagus lah ya.
I've begun to make a name for myself again, you know. In fact, I've already had several troops approach me for the Fontinalia Film Festival.
Lah ada rombongan yang minta aku ikut.
And didn't pique my interest. If others were to find out I agreed to work with you so easily, then, well...
Bisa gimana?
We have a deal. What else do we need to do to convince you, Farina?
Well, what about...
Buset, gimana tuh bayarannya?
You know how much you're willing to pay me to be the director? The pay is also an important factor for me to consider, you know.
Ya aduh gimana nih kan?
I can offer you
Buset.
such?
Lah dibisikin apaan?
That's all? If Nervilat were to hear of this, he could charge you with underpaying your labor.
I'm sorry, but our crew is in a tight financial spot at the moment.
I see. Well, even though it's highly unlikely now that I'll join your crew, there's still something I'd like to ask.
Jadi dia mau tahu
Exactly
film
what
apa yang mau
film are you
dibuat.
planning to make?
Oh, our script is an adaptation of The Two Musketeers.
Wait, you mean the suspense thriller novel that was a #1 bestseller?
Jadi dari situ ya.
Of course I read it. I've always had a keen interest in artistic works that strike a chord with the populace. I see. It all makes sense now. You must have used most of the budget to pay for the copyright.
Not really. The novel's
Ya,
author
bukan
transferred
gitu
copyright to me
juga sih.
for free once he heard that I wanted to make a film adaptation of the story. The lack of budget is due to another issue.
He
Jadi
probably just
gimana
wants to
nih?
get his name out there. So, Mora isn't the most important thing to him right now. It reminds me of a delivery courier who wears one of my designs while traveling all across Teyvat. I didn't charge her much for the outfit either. The
Buset,
exposure she
anggap
provides
saja
for my
iklan
brand
gratis.
is well worth it.
Jadi bagaimana?
The story, Farina?
Well, it's alright. The pacing of the story is good, but the character relationships could use some work. When
Ya
I
aduh,
was
gimana
before,
lagi?
I always felt like some things were left on a rather unsatisfactory note. I have high standards, you know. Ahem, Mr. Xavier, if, hypothetically speaking, I agree to be the director.
Buset, mau merevisi
how freedom would I
skripnya.
have in terms of script revisions and creative interpretation?
Oh, as much freedom as you would need. I wouldn't dare doubt the tastes of Fontaine's greatest star.
Good. Then I'm free to alter the script.
Buset,
as I
mau
see
mengubah
fit.
skripnya sesuai selera.
Absolutely, no problem.
Mohon kerjasamanya, Bu Sutradara.
All right. It seems that your crew really can't go on without my care and direction.
So, you agree?
Nah, gimana
I
tuh?
agree. Although the pay is well below what someone of my caliber deserves, a great script calls for a great director. I mustn't let a perfectly good story be ruined due to lack of funds. If you have fine cheese and bread, you wouldn't just let it sit on the counter and get moldy just because you lack an oven, right?
Terima kasih ya, Furina.
Oh, Hydro Archon above! I'm not dreaming, am I? Somebody pinch me.
There's no more Hydro Archon, you know. And
Dan
it's still
terus
early
jadinya
to
gimana?
celebrate. There's a lot that goes into shooting a film. Although the trickiest tasks of finalizing the script
Ya,
and
jadi
casting
cukup
actors
berat
have
juga ya.
already been taken care
Dan
of.
cukup
We'll
banyak.
still need to reserve filming locations. Not to say set up lighting and props. And by the way, since we'll be filming The Two Musketeers, we'll need to find an action choreographer. Ideally, a professional who has actual experience with muskets.
Nah, cari di mana tuh
Yes,
orang
I
yang
thought
bisa
about this as
menggunakan
well. I was hoping
musketir?
that you might know someone who could handle the job.
Me? If this was before, I could have simply asked Florand. But it's already been
Ya
some
aduh,
time
itu sudah
since I
lama,
asked
jadi
her.
bagaimana ini?
Navia can also use firearms, but unfortunately, her style is quite different from that of the characters in the story.
Ya aduh, nyari
Maybe ask
orang
the
lagi
Special
nih sekarang.
Security and Surveillance Patrol?
Oh, you mean the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
Yes, that's right. They work with muskets every day.
Nah,
I can't
gimana
think of
tuh?
anyone more qualified than them.
They would be under Nervilette's jurisdiction. Unfortunately,
Ya
I
aduh, gimana lagi nih?
don't have any connection with them at all. So, in the end, we still
Jadi sekarang harus memulai bicara dengan New Villette.
I know their Captain Chevres.
Oh, you do? Wait, Chiari, how do you know the captain of the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
No particular reason. Running a business means dealing with some trouble from time to time, and she's helped me out on a few occasions. In
Oh,
return,
jadi
I've
karena
helped her
bisnis
handle a
ya?
few situations in which the special patrol couldn't get involved directly. So we've gotten to know each other over time.
So you're saying there's been times when the Special Patrol needed a fashion designer to handle a situation? Your work is becoming more and more mysterious.
It'd be best to keep it that way. Anyway, enough about that.
Nah, langsung lah ya kita ke sana.
She sounds professional enough. She is a captain after all. I have no objections.
But I imagine the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol must be busy with their duties. Do you think she'd really have time to help with shooting a film? And then there's the
Ya
issue of
aduh,
pay.
gimana lagi tuh bayarannya?
It just so happens that she's also not the
Dan
kind of person
untungnya
who's
dia
just
bukan
having
orang
fun.
yang butuh duit.
As for whether
Bagus
she
lah
has
ya.
time,
Jadi langsung
I'll have to
tanya
go
ke
and ask her
orangnya.
Then I'll leave that to you. Macaroni's on sale today, so I've got to go.
Buset, malah mau
You can tell me how
belanja.
things went when we discuss tomorrow's plan later.
No problem.
Oke lah ya.
Having Farina join feels like a big boost to our team.
Of course. Just wait until the day of our premiere. You'll witness the true power of my name in these lands. You'll be so glad I agreed to help. I can
Iyalah ya.
guarantee that even the standing tickets will be sold out. I'll be sure to ask some people I know to see if they'd be willing to act as extras.
Buset, jadi kunjungi beberapa kenalan yang mau ikutan juga.
Now,
I didn't ask for the Clapper Loader's commentary, Paimon.
Aku sudah tidak sabar ingin lihat penayangan perdananya.
Then let's get going. I happen to know where Chevrolet is today.
By the way, I'm curious. If my pay is so low, then what about our two lead actors? Didn't they travel here all the way from
Nah, oh dua orang itu.
They told us that they see the trip as part of a cultural exchange.
Cuman kunjungan
So they
kerja
didn't
untuk
ask for
pertukaran
anything.
budaya.
What? So is every person into that who doesn't want money gathered here to shoot this film? Don't tell me Chiori isn't being paid either.
Kayaknya gimana ya?
I've known Xavier from before, and he's also agreed to give my brand some good exposure.
It seems the gods have really smiled upon you, Xavier. And that certainly doesn't include me, mind you.
Jadi sekarang gimana ini? Cari kapten pasukan patroli khusus Chief Rius. Jadi kayaknya gua skip aja ya. Tetapi jujur aja gua cukup nyesel kenapa ngambil Lumine. Jadi di mana itu orang?
All right, this is the place.
But where's the captain?
Kayaknya gua pernah lihat dah.
She's over there.
Oh, yang
The one with
itu.
an eye patch reading in front of the newsstand.
Oh, her! Paimon could tell there was something different about her. She's
Kayak galak-galak gitu auranya.
Please wait here for a moment. I'll go fetch her. She's working now, so you might not want to get in her way.
Iyalah ya.
But isn't she just standing there and reading a novel?
Just trust me.
Oh,
Jadi sekarang
what happens then?
pantau dulu dari jauh.
She's a mysterious person. She claims just to be a fashion designer, but she knows all these powerful people.
Nah tuh, kok bisa begitu?
Court of Fontaine isn't particularly tolerant of visitors from overseas, so it isn't easy for a foreigner to promote their brand here. Even more so in the competitive world of fashion. Even a local like me just trying to make a film has to face all kinds of challenges.
Buset, jadi banyak tantangannya ya.
Has been through to get where she is today. I'm sure that having more connections has definitely worked in her favor.
Reading on the job?
Detective novel.
One main character?
Nah, gimana nih?
No. Multiple. branching storylines.
I see. How's the plot coming along?
One of the main characters is about to make a choice that will affect the rest of his life. I'd wager he's going to make the wrong choice.
Yaduh, akan salah
Hate to speed
pilih.
things up. There's something I need your help with.
You know that doesn't depend on me. It all comes down to what the character chooses.
Which is exactly why I'm here to help.
Sekarang gimana nih?
Alright, it appears he made the wrong choice in the end. Halt!
Lah kok gimana nih? Tiba-tiba berhenti.
What's going on?
Hand over whatever you're holding.
Oh, it's just a book. I didn't buy anything else.
Cuma
And I'm sure you wouldn't
buku.
mind letting me have a look.
Excuse me, officer. I don't mind you standing around here, not purchasing anything, but I'd prefer if you didn't disturb my customers. It's
Ini ada apa lagi nih?
Don't give me that act. You won't be able to get off so easily either. I am Chevraz, captain of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. I will say this one last time.
Lah serahkan
Hand over whatever
apa?
you're holding at once. And before you do anything unwise, let me remind you that I'll have you on the ground before you can even think about making a run for it.
All right. I'll give it to you. But please let me say something first. If there's any contraband in that book, then the shopkeeper here is the one who slipped it in.
Lah kok tiba-tiba begini?
Why, you trying to leave me on the hook, huh? You were the one who said you wanted it.
Save it for the interrogation room. Take them away, Lavalier.
Buset, ada apa ini?
What's going on here? One second you're reading a book and the next you're escorting people away.
And who are...
Nah tuh gimana?
Aren't you the traveler who's been all over the papers recently? Chiori, I'm assuming what you wanted to ask me about has to do with them, right? Maybe I can let you in on what's happening then. Now that Vache has been brought to justice, no new shipments of synth will be made and distributed to sellers. The Fontaine guards have been busy collecting the remaining synths.
Buset, menyita barang-barang yang masih beredar di pasaran.
Reliable source here. This should be the very last batch.
Dan ini yang terakhir.
Having to read a book in order to catch the bad guys. Oh, Paimon almost forgot to introduce ourselves. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler and Xavier.
Hey, I'm Chevraz. You probably already heard me introduce myself, so I won't bother repeating it.
Kenapa enggak langsung ringkus saja?
Yeah, why didn't you make a move as soon as you had the chance? Were you worried that my intel wasn't accurate?
No, I wanted to see if the shopkeeper would turn himself in first. All he had to do was come up to me and say that he didn't know where the synth had come from. If he did that, then I wouldn't have had to press charges on him.
He
Jadi
had the whole
seperti
day
itu ya.
to turn the synth over to Chevraz. But instead, the moment I came up and blocked Chevraz's line of sight, he took the opportunity to sell it off.
Yep, he made the wrong choice, even though the right choice was right there in front of him.
But you knew they wouldn't make the right choice.
Yeah, I knew. I was just hoping I'd be wrong for once.
Lah kok gitu? Lah terus gimana ini?
Enough about that though. What did you want to ask me about?
Pastinya ada perlu lah ya.
Oh, you see, it's like this.
Gini ceritanya. Terus
Two
gimana?
musketeers. You certainly have a good eye for a story. So what do you need me to do? Just be the action choreographer for the actors?
Yes, that's right. I want to make sure we
Ya
get all the
cuman gitu
details
doang lah ya.
I want the actor's posture and understanding of firearms to be as realistic as possible.
Buset, pengen
However, I'm afraid
serealistis
this work will
mungkin.
require a bit of your time, since you'll have to be present whenever we're filming. Also, as for the pay...
Nah gimana
Need
tuh
to say any
honornya?
more? I'll join.
Jadi gimana ini?
What Bull Checker is really saying is, if you wanna fight the Oni King, you have to go through Sky Clearing White Iron Lavender Melon first.
Really? You're willing to help us with our humble
Lah kok malah
film
begini nih,
project?
kayaknya ngebug atau
Sure,
emang
it's no big
internetnya.
deal. As I said, we've wrapped up our investigation here, so I don't have any other tasks on my plate.
Buset, jadi sekarang dia nganggur
Besides, I
juga.
personally really like this novel. I even have the collector's edition at home. Stories where justice prevails over evil never get old for me.
Then we've got a deal?
Nah,
Yes,
setuju lah ya.
be on set tomorrow.
Buset, langsung ketemu di lokasi syuting.
Oh my, I can hardly believe it.
Langsung
I can tell
lancar
you
juga ya.
immediately. Oh, and I must tell the prop manager and lighting technician to get everything ready. We start
Jadi
filming
besok
tomorrow.
mulai syuting. Dan selanjutnya gimana ini?
The film is going to take more than just a day to finish.
Pasti lebih dari
Still, I
sehari.
should also head back now and start preparing the actors' costumes and
Menyiapkan kostum.
Guess that's it for today then.
Sekarang
Hold
gimana ini?
on. Please stay for a moment. I have something to tell you.
Lah kok ada sesuatu?
Then I'll take Xavier back. Poor thing. He's so excited that he can't even walk straight anymore. I don't want to spend our first day fishing our producer out of the fountain.
Sampai besok.
Yep, see you tomorrow.
Sekarang gimana ini? Bicara dengan Civirius. Jadi langsung saja lah ya. Cuma nanti gameplaynya akan cukup panjang ini.
So what did you want to tell us, Chevres?
Jadi ada sesuatu yang ingin dibilang.
Have you read The Two Musketeers?
Belum.
The story is about a pair of children born into the household of a baron and their struggle to survive together and take revenge for their mother. They were raised at the baron's estate where their mother worked as a maid.
Ya,
Two were
aduh gimana
illegitimate
tuh?
children that the baron had with the maid, so they were never treated well by anyone.
Buset.
One day, upon returning home, they found their mother had been murdered and left dead on the floor. It was quite evident that the culprits were the other members of the baron's household, who never had any kind words to say to them. However, the baron was able to exert his influence and keep the whole thing under wraps. The mother's death
Yaduh.
was eventually deemed as a suicide, and there was no chance of bringing her murderers to justice. The two siblings decided to flee and someday avenge their mother. Many years later, members of the baron's family suddenly started turning up dead one after the other, all killed by gunshot. A rainbow rose was found on each of the victims' bodies, being the flower that the kid's mother liked best. The baron believed that the mother's soul had come to take vengeance on him, so he lived in fear each day. But it was actually those two siblings who had fled all those years ago. They relied on each other to survive and trained day and night, eventually becoming
Buset.
adept
Jadi mereka
musketeers.
kabur dan
They used
berlatih
all of their
menjadi
abilities
penembak
to collect
jitu.
evidence and clues before executing their plan and exacting revenge on the baron. Their actions let the truth behind their mother's death be known
Jadi
to all.
seperti itu ya.
That's quite an exhilarating story.
Yep, the baron got what he deserved for his evil deeds, and justice was able to prevail. It was just the kind of story
Ya
I enjoyed.
lumayan lah ya, cukup menarik.
So is that why you were so willing to join our crew, Chevres?
You could say
Jadi
it was
gimana
one
ini?
of the reasons.
Oh, you mean there were other reasons too?
I've read the reports about you. Whether it was at the trials or when you lent your hand to resolve our nation's crisis, you've shown that you've got a strong sense of justice, as well as a great mind for deductions.
Sebentar, maksudnya?
Yes, you're as sharp as I expected. It seems you've experienced many similar situations before. There's been a recent murder case involving muskets. The perpetrator's methods appear to be very similar to what is described in the novel.
Ya aduh, jadi cukup mirip.
Really? But Paimon didn't see anything about that in today's papers.
The Marechaussee Phantom hasn't yet released any information to the public because the investigation
Jadi
is currently
butuh
at a standstill.
waktu yang cukup
The murderer
lama.
is extremely cautious.
A murder involving firearms? But not that many people use those in Fontaine, right?
Apa mungkin salah satunya anggotamu?
Impossible. We perform a routine inspection of our firearms and ammo reserves every day. If one of the weapons had been fired, it would stick out like a sore thumb. Besides, I trust the members of my platoon. However, well, that's all I
Ya,
can
nggak apa-apa lah ya.
Huh? What do you mean?
I hope you all can go back and get some shut-eye.
Jadi besok baru tentukan mau bantu penyelidikan ini atau
I'm aware
tidak.
this might not be the ideal time to add more to your plate, but the more capable people we have,
Iyalah ya.
justice will prevail.
Tidak bisa suruh orang pasukan patroli khusus yang turun.
Carrying out investigations isn't actually supposed to be our responsibility. Our job is to apprehend the perpetrators. Finding them is really up to the Marechaussee Phantom. You could say I'm taking part in the investigation out of personal interest.
Lah ya, aduh gimana nih?
People to see muskets in a negative way, and also, I'm concerned about the similarity between the
Buset,
claims and
jadi
the
cukup
story.
mirip ya.
You mean they might be connected somehow?
I suspect so.
Nah, gimana tuh?
Just to make myself clear, this is not an order, nor is it a deal of any kind. It's a request, nothing more. If you
Oke
take
lah ya.
any interest in the case after we finish filming tomorrow and are willing to assist me, then I would be most grateful.
What do you think,
Nah,
Traveler?
gimana nih? Kita pikirin besok lagi.
Yeah, you're right. Paimon getting a little tired too.
Ya, sama gua juga udah mulai capek.
You'd better head back and get some rest. It's good to keep a calm mind, especially when you're about to make an important decision. Otherwise, when the moment comes, you might end up like that shopkeeper and not even realize that the right choice is right there in front of you.
Derak Senapan Memecah Keheningan kue selesai. Dan gua akan melanjutkan antara fiksi dan realita di dalam dan luar bingkai di next part, karena videonya sudah cukup panjang. Jadi karena sisa waktunya adalah 5 hari 23 jam lagi, gua akan langsung saja membuat video panjang seperti ini. Dan karena ini adalah event, jadi tidak akan bisa diulangi lagi besok-besok atau kapan-kapan lagi. Jadi terima kasih buat yang sudah nonton sampai sini. Like dan juga komen, gua harap kalian terhibur. Dan gua akan melanjutkan event Genshin Impact ini.